And joining us out of Indiana is Mr. E. Michael Jones, editor of Culture Wars Online magazine. Hello, Mr. Jones. Thanks for joining us back on the program, sir. Now, your thoughts on the reactions we're seeing out of the European Union?
Well, the first thought is you can't unilaterally revoke a multilateral treaty. How are you going to do this? The punishment would be sanctions. Okay, sanctions on anybody dealing with Iran. Well, if the other four parties deal with Iran, then you have to impose sanctions on them. And if you do that, you break up an organization like NATO, or you break up the European Union, or you break up this whole alliance that you've been building over decades. So it's not going to work. That's the first thought.
But a lot of critics say that it's just that's not the point. It's the point that it's the law of the strongest. Donald Trump feeling that he could kind of, throw his weight around being the strongest country in the world. He could kind of bully the other signatories to kind of following suit, or at least set the stage for the crumbling, the slow deterioration of the pact. Your thoughts? Yeah,
well, if he's probably the weakest president in recent history, so the weight he's throwing around is not very heavy. He's got no weight to throw around. That's part of the problem here. I think what you're seeing here is a sign of weakness on his part. The press is controlled by the Jews in the United States. Some of the Jews were for the agreement. Some of them were against the agreement. I think this is a desperate attempt on his part, first of all, to get the press on his side with an issue that he will consider popular with them. And secondly, to throw the whole issue then back to the Congress, because they're the ones who are going to have to vote on it then. This will shut up Congress's criticism of him, and that will probably give him some breathing space for other things that he's doing. At least that's the way I see his strategy here.
And now, what do you foresee happening now as this thing shoots over to Congress?
They will probably, I have a feeling if Trump came out in favor of motherhood or prayer to God or something like that, the Congress will vote against him. Anything that Trump proposes, they will vote against him. So what probably will happen is that they will reinstate the agreement, just to spite Trump, because the Democrats certainly, it was their agreement. The Democrats were behind this agreement. The Republicans were against it. Trump has no following in his own party, so I assume they will basically reinstate it. They may initiate some more sanctions, but I don't think they're going to overturn the agreement. I don't think they will, simply because Trump wants to do it.
Thank you for joining us and for your input. Mr. E. Michael Jones joining us there out of Indiana, editor at Culture Wars Online magazine.